Recording in progress.
October 15th, 2024. The time is 5:30 p.m. The counselors who are with us today are Counselor Gary Garrett, Counselor Becky Bogdan, Counselor Rachel Whipple, Counselor Travis Hoban, and Counselor George Handley. Counselors Craig Christensen and Catrice McKay are excused. Okay, for our opening prayer, I'll be, let's see. I will be doing that. If you would join me. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in this city the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose we may faithfully serve in our offices to promote the well-being of all people, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Today's Pledge of Allegiance will be provided by Counselor Gary Garrett.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will be doing the public comment. This is the preamble that I get to read to you before that starts. As indicated on the screen, or will be soon, a required public hearing will be held for certain items prior to council action. After each such item has been presented, the time to comment will be provided for all those who wish to speak. For items that do not require a public hearing, public comment will still be taken following presentation of the item, but it will be limited to 10 minutes. At this time, up to 15 minutes have been set aside for an open public comment period, which is intended to allow comment on matters that do not appear on the agenda, but are limited to topics regarding municipal business or within municipal council purview. Persons who speak during this time to an item that is on the agenda will not normally be afforded a second opportunity to speak during the comment period specific to that item. During any public comment period, each speaker will generally be limited to 2 minutes. Due to noticing requirements, no formal action will be taken in this meeting on matters that do not appear on the agenda. Those with comments are invited to approach the podium. Those participating on Zoom will need to use the raise hand feature to indicate that they wish to comment. The chair may choose to alternate between in-person and online commenters. Please begin your comments by stating your name and the city of residence. You will have 2 minutes to speak. With that, the public comment period is open, so go ahead and come forward.
My name is Andrew Thompson, and I live in Provo, and I'm back. You might remember me from a few weeks ago when I spoke about the need for an ADA liaison, and I want to know what's going on. But first of all, I didn't have enough time last time. 2 minutes is not enough. I didn't have enough time to invite anybody on the city council or the administration to spend a couple of hours with me in another wheelchair. We can go around, just around my block would be enough. It's called empathy training. And by the way, I know some people fear this. They don't like it. They don't want to do it. But almost everybody I know who's done it is thoroughly appreciative of it. And they learn a lot, and they wish they had known that before. So I would like to challenge any of you to do that. You have my phone number. I'll leave it with the clerk. And once again, why don't we have an ADA coordinator? That is so important. And just since I was last here, several things have come up where I've been able to resolve them better because I spoke up about it. But we need a full-time person who can do this. And there are so many issues. It'll take a while to catch up. But after you've caught up, here's one idea, and that is other cities in the valley certainly need a lot more updating than Provo does. You can lend them out, whatever arrangement you want to make with the city or anything. I would like to go for the standard of Lexington, Massachusetts. Look that up. They are really good about making sure accessibility is an important issue. And in case you're wondering about the money, once again, I reiterate, those signs that say Provo Strong and Heart of Provo, $73,000 for those. And they're called art installations. Come on, give me a break. That is insulting. I'm an artist.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson. Do we have anyone online? Okay. Are there any other public comments?
Hi there. My name's Alyssa Hughes. I'm a veterinarian in Summit County. I'm not a resident here. I'm here to support Best Friends Initiative to bring TNR services for cats that are free roaming in Provo, to provide humane alternatives to euthanasia for cats that are trapped and brought into the shelter. I am a veterinarian that performs surgeries on these cats in Summit County. We've seen a really big success with this program as it helps stabilize the free roaming cat communities in our area. Unfortunately, many people believe that if you bring cats out of the colony and euthanize them, that you're solving the problem, when in fact, the population gets destabilized. More cats come into the area, they start reproducing, there's often more cat fighting, disease spread, and in fact, the population doesn't ever diminish. TNR is a safe alternative and a humane alternative in which cats are vaccinated, they are released, sterilized back to the place where they were trapped, and the colony remains stable. So you don't get juveniles moving in, causing fights, spreading disease. These also will diminish the nuisance calls from residents and people who are concerned about what cats are doing at the Wendy's parking lot or in their neighbor's backyard. Because they tend to be less likely to roam, less likely to fight, less likely to spread disease with owned house cats or owned indoor-outdoor cats. So Best Friends is offering to pilot a program in Provo where they would support TNR for shelter cats that come into the shelters within the city limits. And I'm here just to say that I think this is a great program and I hope that you will all consider it and implementing it, at least giving it a trial, which I think is the proposal for 3 years. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Hello, Council. My name is Carla Tanner, and I am a resident here of Provo City. And I am also an advocate and urge you to accept the Best Friends offer for community cat programming. I have some notes right here. Right now, Utah County has the highest euthanasia rate in the entire state of Utah, largely because of the outdated, wasteful, and inhumane practice of trapping, impounding, and killing healthy outdoor cats. The TNVR is proven to be a safe and cost-effective method for decreasing the number of outdoor free roaming cats over time, just as our friend, the veterinarian, has stated. If you remember, Governor Cox recently signed a proclamation declaring 2024 no-kill shelter in Utah. So I'm asking
please help Utah fulfill this commitment to become a no-kill by implementing a community cat program and setting a positive example for the rest of Utah County to follow. And on a more personal base, I have 2 kitties that were outdoor cats, and I was able to socialize them and bring them into my home, and they have blessed my life immensely. If I didn't give them this opportunity and they had been put into a shelter, they would have most likely not been able to survive. So these little lives matter. They make a difference. I call them my angels with paws. So I hope that you sincerely think about this offer, and let's try it out in Provo for the next 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Cecilia Burnside, and I'm a veterinarian as well. I'm a feline veterinarian. We've been doing the trap, neuter, and return to field program where we are in Park City. It's been really successful. These programs have been around for a while. This isn't reinventing the wheel. Many vet schools are utilizing these types of programs and teaching us all the different ins and outs of the program, so we're doing it correctly. It's definitely decreasing the populations of these cat colonies. The other thing that I think about when I think about these animals being euthanized is just the human aspect of the person at the shelter doing that job. The animal control officer is picking up that cat, knowing that cat's going to be euthanized. It's a really heavy job, causes a severe mental toll, I think, on people. I think we want to teach our community and our kids that things matter, that these animals matter, and that we're going to do right by them. We're going to take care of them. They're our community cats. They're not a nuisance. It's an animal that lives in our community, and we're going to take care of them in the way that we need to, right? And so I think that would take the toll off the people at the shelter, having to impound these cats, having to euthanize them. It's really, really depressing. And it would bring this other light of, we're going to take care of these animals. They're part of our community. We have people who care for them as our colony caregivers. We're very devoted to them, or maybe they're just free roaming, and that's okay. They're doing their job out there. But now they're vaccinated, they're sterilized. We're not going to be increasing those populations. And over time, those colonies will get smaller. So I want to be doing right by these animals. These are our responsibility, and we need to take care of them. Thanks.
Ms. Burnside, is your city Park City?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're out in Piola.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Autumn Wagner, and I'm from Salt Lake City. I work for Best Friends, and I have been part of helping shelters implement this program. And I've had the pleasure of working with these shelter workers who have seen the program or seen the shelter before this program was implemented, and animal control officers with tears in their eyes saying, I remember those days that I had to go through and just kill cats. And with this program, I don't have to do that anymore. And so I think that was such a valid point that was brought up. But some of the other benefits of this program is you get to bypass that 5-day stray hold. Cats can get fixed and return to their outdoor homes where they are often cared for by either one or more members of their community. And it will stabilize the population, especially if it's maintained. And the benefit not only extends to the adoptable cats who cannot be fixed and returned to outside because they need to be housed in an indoor environment. It also helps the dogs in the shelters as well, because then the shelter staff will be able to spend their time with the animals that need to be adopted into homes. I think we need to think about community cats differently and cats in general entering shelters, because the return to owner rate is so much lower than dogs. Dogs are redeemed at such a high rate, and cats are in the single digits. So another benefit unintentionally is sometimes some people's outdoor cats get home. That's an unintentional benefit, but the shelters I've worked with have said they've gotten calls that said, oh, people in the neighborhood are cutting cats because they tip them when they're under anesthesia. And that's not what happened. The cat got home. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We've changed our like end of time chime. That is powerful. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Sherry Lynn. I live in Springville. And I started feeding a couple of feral cats. And the mama had babies. And they were so cute, I fell in love with them and had to keep feeding them. Well, then the mama had more babies, 5 more. So now I have 10 babies at my house. And I finally got the mom TNR'd, which was so wonderful. Well, then the teenagers started mating with each other. And I had to get them TNR'd. So I had best friends help me with that. And we got 13 of them trapped and fixed, TNR'd. 4 were pregnant at the time and 2 were in heat. And so we saved me from feeding about 30 more cats. And this program is absolutely fabulous. And my outside kitties, I gave them shelter on my porch with little houses and in the winter warming blankets and to keep them warm. And they know that that's their home now. And I have people, I've just had cats just, appear at my house. I'm like, where are they coming from? Because I've always been a dog person, so this is new to me. But I could have not done any of this without best friends. And they are fabulous, and we really need to support this. The TNR is amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. Seeing no more public comment, we have another. Okay, come on up.
Hello,
Hi,
I'm Brenda. I do a lot of TNR.
Brenda. What's your last name in your
Beardall.
city?
Hi, Provo.
Thank you.
And I do it in Utah County, so it's not just here in Provo. But I have found just in the last month, about 8 cats that have been dumped. And doing TNR, we have found some of them, their homes. So one just happened the other day and we returned it. It came from Orem and it was caught in Springville. So people are dumping other people's pets, which is really messed up. And TNR programs, these are in Davis County and different counties, and they really work. I think that if we can make a difference for the pets and have less babies, this is the way to do it. I don't know if you know the statistics on how many cats can come out of 2 cats in 10 years. Can you guess?
Generationally,
Yeah? Take a guess. Anybody? 1 million. So this program right here makes a difference, and it helps the cats be safe. They get their vaccinations. They get fixed. Because believe me, it's hard to see them all suffer, so I'm going to cry. And it's so cool to see the people that get their pets back. And if you want to go check it out, I have a video I just posted on my Facebook page last night of the cat being returned to the rightful owner. So hopefully, if you want my Facebook, it's Brenda Beardall.
Could you stop by the desk with our staff there? That way we can get the spelling right. Find it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Brenda. All right, we are almost at our 15-minute limit, but if we have one more comment, we could squeeze it in. Okay, we don't have to do that. So we will now close the public comment. I will note for my cat people that the cat we found as a little feral gray fluff ball on BOU campus outside of the Museum of Art. His name is Moa. He is a terrible cat and we love him very much. We've had him for 12 years, but we took him and got him fixed because we knew that's what you do with feral cats. Okay, moving on then, we'll go into our action agenda. First is an implied motion on an ordinance amending the zone map classification of real property, generally located at 1992 North Geneva Road, from the R120 or the one family residential zone to the LDR, low density residential zone. This is in the Lakeview North Neighborhood, and it will be presented by Aaron Ardmore, our planning supervisor.
Hey, thank you, Council, for your time tonight. Let's go ahead. No problem. No. Good enough. Okay, so here we are, 2000 North Geneva Road. This is city-owned property. The city's owned it for a few years now, since 2015. Home was demolished in 2016 in work with the road network there. So it's just been sitting vacant. So it provided us an opportunity to do something interesting and do something to try to meet general plan goals of getting some workforce housing, some attainable housing here in the city. So we've been working with Provo Housing and are ready to do a land trust with this. So they would own the land, they would build the 6 townhomes with the LDR zoning, and then sell those out to Provo City employees or any other qualified candidates that meet the income criteria and so forth. So this is kind of an exciting project for us. We hope to do more of this as we are in an affordability crisis and a lot of our city employees can't afford to live in Provo. So the LDR zone enables us to move forward. It's the first step. And that's what's in front of you tonight. I am prepared to answer any questions if you have them, but that's all I have prepared for my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Ardmore. Are there any questions for Aaron from the council? Mr. Hoban?
Thanks, Aaron. So how do we go about choosing a developer for this?
So once the zone has entitled the property, that will let Provo Housing do an RFP and get a contractor on board.
Okay. And we had some questions from the work meeting regarding how we will choose who gets to live in these homes, who gets to purchase these homes, right?
All right.
A lottery system, I know it's based on work type, will be given a certain priority.
Right.
But then beyond that, I think there's going to be excessive demand for this.
We believe so. We've already had a lot of firefighters and police officers coming up to people
which is
in our
great.
Department, so it's good.
Yeah. Do we know how what that process will look like?
I don't know, and I don't see Sarah here. Is there anyone from Provo Housing?
Okay. It's not critical. I was just curious.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Yes, Councillor Bogdan.
Okay, so I got asked why this didn't go to a neighborhood meeting before it came before council.
Sure, just the timing didn't work out. The calendars are not matching up on this one. It's not a requirement for this to go to a neighborhood meeting. So we just push it on from the Plan Commission to City Council.
Could it go to the next neighborhood meeting?
It's on the agenda for October 30th. So we'll give the neighborhood an update on where it stands and try to answer any questions at that point.
Okay. And are we concerned about the traffic? Because I know 2000 North and Geneva Road have, I don't think they're at capacity. If they're at capacity, we'd be looking at expanding those, but.
So the access will be here on the east side of the property. So it'll feed onto 2000 North. The amount of daily trips coming from 6 single-family attached homes isn't enough to have any really impact.
And then can you explain a little bit about it blocking the intersection or being a nuisance to the intersection?
Yeah, so that's why the access was pushed back on this east side. So it'd come around and access the garages of the 6 townhomes on the back here. And that'd be the ingress and egress. So there'd be appropriate stacking.
And I used to live out on the Alpine Highway. And so as it grew, as Alpine grew and as Highland grew, it was basically a right in and right out. So if you had to go north to Alpine, a lot of times you have to go find some place and make a U-turn. I think as places grow and expand, before you can expand the infrastructure there, it's kind of normal that people have to do those right in, right outs on those major roads, right?
Yeah, I think if this road gets to that point, those are things that the city can implement, but
But I don't
this-
think
this
we're there
project
yet, are
wouldn't
we?
call for it.
Thanks.
All right. Is there any other council question for Mr. Ardmore? Okay. In that case, we will open this item for public comment. So this is for comment just on this particular item.
My name is Don Barr. I'm in Provo. I live kitty corner from the light. I'm the last house on the west side in Provo. All my neighbors on the north are people from Orem. We've been in this area for many, many years. When we were moved in, we were told, look out for Geneva traffic. But I learned that the traffic is just a timely thing. Anyway, I appreciated being alerted to this. We have known 2 or 3 families that lived on this property. When I was asked how I felt about 6 homes, I said 4 seemed to fit for me. I understand there may be an issue of scale, and it might be easier to do 6 than 4. But I think that if you push that, then why not do 8? Anyway, as I left my place, I drove by that property, and I continue to feel what I told Becky, that 4 homes make sense to me. 6, I think, is pushing it. And if families are actually going to be there, maybe I just am somebody that likes a little bit more room. There's a lot of traffic on 20th, and it's going to get worse. So that would be my primary concern. I look forward to a pro forma meeting neighborhood, but
Thank you. I'm so glad that you were able to come and make your comment about that. We appreciate it. Is there other public comment on this item? Casey, oh, ma'am, did you want to? Probably. You're welcome to come on up.
Hey, my name is Vonda Barr, and as Don said, we live across the street west from this property, across Geneva Road. So we've seen a lot of activity on that corner in the past 50 years that we've been there. Even before so many of the houses that have come up and the increased amount of traffic. We had Geneva traffic, which was shift. Sometimes it was very busy, sometimes it wasn't, but there's not too many times now that Geneva Road is not real busy. And that's only going to get worse busier with the intersection, and now with the building of the road going west, the airport road there, that will also increase traffic. My concern is mainly safety. Not only for these people that would be living, we've wondered what would happen if there were children, if they would be families with children. But for anyone, I'm concerned about the safety of the people that live there, the people that travel there, and people that live there presently. It does not sound like a very safe place to live to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barr. All right, seeing no further public comment on this item, I will now open it for council discussion. All right, Councillor Bogdan.
I know Sarah's not here, but I did watch Planning Commission. And I know that Barbara DeSoto was talking about fencing off the front part of the property. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and with most of these that come to you as a legislative action, they'll come back to the Plan Commission and to staff as project plan applications, and that's when we really get down on those details. So yeah, we've noted Barbie's concerns about the front yards and fencing, and also some other Plan Commissioners with the parking being signed for guest parking on the entry. So those things will stay in our notes as they move forward in the process.
That I appreciate, because if there is people with young children, having a fenced front yard between 20th and them would be very helpful, especially with safety.
Yeah, I think it's in everybody's interest. Yeah.
Yeah. And then these are rear loaded townhomes, right?
That's correct.
And so they'd have that little teeny road in the back. So most of the play would be in the front, just because in those rear loaded townhomes, kids usually don't play in the backyard, do they? Because that's the street where they're
It'll be
pulling it
a
out.
pretty quiet access driveway, so I imagine kids would be playing in both areas.
Oh.
Right. So, yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
Any other council discussion? No. Okay. In that case, I call for a vote on the implied motion. Councillor Bogdan.
Yes.
Councillor Christensen is excused. Councillor Garrett.
Yes.
Councillor Handley.
Yes.
Councillor Hoban.
Yes.
Councillor McKay is excused. Councillor Whipple is a yes. The vote is 5-0, so that passes unanimously with all councillors present. Action item number 2 has been continued, so we will not be hearing this resolution tonight. And with that, we will now adjourn the Provo Municipal Council. So if there's no objection, we will now adjourn the Provo Municipal Council and convene as the Redevelopment Agency Governing Board by unanimous consent. I always pause because sometimes there's not unanimity. Usually they're like, one more thing, wait. Okay. So for our RDA action agenda, this is item number 3, a resolution approving a wetlands construction and maintenance agreement with GT Medical, the NOORDA Osteopathic School of Medicine. This will be presented by Keith Morey, Economic Development Director.
Thank you very much. So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, if you remember right, when the NOORDA Medical School was contemplating the development there around the golf course. We made arrangements with them to utilize some of the golf course property to mitigate wetlands issues. And as they were working through that process, they identified another piece of property that might potentially represent a pad that could be built on, and they wanted to consider that. And so to do that, they asked us to revisit this agreement. And so we put together an outline of how that would work and what they would have to do to be responsible to the Army Corps of Engineers to make sure that they meet those wetland mitigation requirements and the price per acre that they would owe us if they need to utilize some of our property. And so the agreement that you have before you contemplates them possibly impacting between 2 and 5 acres, and depending on what they do impact, that the price per acre would be around $136,000 per acre that we would be paid because of their impact, while we would still maintain ownership of the property. So it basically just accommodates us for their impact and their use of our land as their wetlands mitigation plan. So it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy, and it allows them to possibly expand if they want to in the future. And it continues kind of this partnership that we've had with them where we mutually benefit. I mean, the revenue that we would potentially get from that helps us do improvements like hopefully make improvements to the driving range like we've done in the past. And I think Brett has contemplated possibly even increasing the opportunity of that amenity so that it's a better public draw, or even has more things that people could do there on the driving range instead of just hit balls. That maybe there might be other entertainment options that you could do there on that facility. So it's a great opportunity and kind of a win-win for all of us.
Thank you.
You bet.
Are there any board questions for Mr. Maury? Yes, or Becky, go ahead.
Becky's good. Mrs. Bogdan is my mother-in-law. Keith, do we know if the driving range is going to be open like on that triple play thing, or is it going to be something exclusive that's like an additional fee at the golf course, or what that's going to look like?
Brett could probably answer that question better, but I mean, the driving range is a revenue generator for the course. And so it's not a free play opportunity, but I think what they're hoping to do is enhance the opportunity so that, you know, if you've ever been to a Top Golf type environment where there's different types of games that you can play while you're driving closest to this spot or whatever, although it's not going to be a Top Golf type amenity, they wanted to do some things like that that could make it more of an entertainment opportunity so that maybe other people that aren't specifically just golfers could go and have an experience there that would be meaningful to them and create another revenue opportunity for the course. Does that answer your question?
I've been burned a little bit by some of this stuff, and so I just want to make sure that it's out there.
Yeah, no, as of right now, obviously, with inflation and the economy and things like that, we don't have any intent to raise any fees on the driving range with any part of this. And it would still be included in the triple play package, just like it is now. So no change to the triple play or any amenities at all. That answer the question? I think I kind of heard half of it.
Yeah. I just wanted it just out there.
Yeah. So as far it's just to improve the driving range.
It's just to improve the driving range that already exists, and so it'd just be
so the range is
an
there,
extension.
and with triple play, there's still half off on the range balls now. We would just improve the hitting area and just make the landing area a little bit more desirable. It's probably our weakest point right now, and this just kind of strengthens that area. So.
Thank you. I appreciate. No, that's really good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Any other questions? All right. Now that we've had those questions, we can open this item for public comment. Any member of the public want to comment on this item? Okay, seeing no public comment, we will now close the public comment and open this for board member discussion, as distinguished from our questions. Is there any discussion on this item? Councilor Board Member Bogdan.
Whatever. Thank you guys for answering my questions and for the hard work, because I'm sure this wasn't something that was just done like that. I'm sure there was a lot of work on staff's end to get it here. I think it'll be a good amenity for our golf course.
All right. And is this something where we've already got Army Corps of Engineers approval for these proposed plans, or we're just confident that it's consistent with their requirements?
Yeah, exactly. They'll still have to go through their approval processes. They actually submit their plans and navigate through that with the Army Corps of Engineers. So,
but they couldn't do that fully until we'd made this approval.
Exactly. Well, I mean, because it's our land, they have to have our agreement and our participation and what the terms would be for our participation on our property for their mitigation plan.
Wonderful. Thank you for clarifying that little order of operations for us.
Chair Whipple, just to clarify that even further, and that's why both the resolution and the actual agreement talk about a range of the number of acres that they might end up using. So we've agreed by this agreement, we're agreeing on a price per acre, but the final acreage won't be determined until the Army Corps of Engineers approves a plan.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. All right, I'm going to call for a vote on this implied motion, or let's see, this doesn't have implied motion. Do we need to make a motion to accept this resolution, Brian?
Yes, we do. We haven't, unless, we've talked about this before, but we have never actually amended the RDA bylaws and handbook to allow implied motions. That's a council-only thing for now.
That's such a convenient thing, though. Okay.
We'll have
Maybe add that to the leadership agenda meeting for Thursday. Thank you. Okay, so we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion is made by Councilor or Board Member Garrett and seconded by Handley. We will now do a roll call vote. Board Member Christensen is excused. Board Member Garrett.
Yes.
Board Member Handley.
Yes.
Board Member Hoban.
Yes.
Board Member McKay is excused. Board Member Whipple is a yes. And Board Member Bogdan.
Yes.
Okay, that vote is 5-0, unanimous for the board members who are present. RDA action agenda item number 4, a resolution approving the appropriation of $214,600 in the tax increment fund for affordable housing projects. This is also presented by Keith Morey.
Okay, so this is really just a formality. We've already talked about how we intend to utilize these funds, but we hadn't actually taken the step to specify that we were going to appropriate these funds for this use. These funds were collected from the mix at River's Edge Development as a set aside for affordable housing because they didn't do that within their project area boundary. And because that was a requirement and they opted not to build that within their boundary, they paid us the money instead. And so that money has been in the general fund and just needs to be appropriated so we can actually utilize it for the affordable housing project we talked about earlier tonight.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Morey? Okay, we will now open this item for public comment. Seeing no public comment, we will close public comment. Board member discussion. We're not talking about this now because we have talked about this many times. But that said, there's always something more. Oh, that's what she was going to say. How many times have we discussed this? Like 4 or 5 already? Okay, it's a lot, my friends. You can look back through our old meetings. Okay, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Travis Hoban won the second by a hair. Well done, sir. Okay, we will now do a roll call vote on the motion. Board Member Garrett.
Yes.
Board Member Handley.
Yes.
Board Member Hoban.
Yes.
Board Member McKay is excused. Board Member Whipple is a yes. Board Member Bogdan.
Yes.
And Board Member Christensen is excused. The vote is 5-0 unanimous for all board members who are present. If there's no objection, we will now adjourn the Redevelopment Agency Governing Board meeting by unanimous consent. And my friends, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.